Welcome to our class for today. In our last subject, or in our last topic on social studies, we talked about the consequences of family size on the individual, and we picked a large family. And we saw the consequences of having a large family. Today, we are taking under that same consequences of family size on the individual, the small family. How does the small family affect the individual child or affect the individual in the family? Let me start by asking you, taking care of 10 persons and taking care of 3 persons, which one do you think the care will be more, the oversight will be more, the disciplinary measure will be more? I think your guess is as good as mine. Having 3 persons that you are taking care of will be more easier than having 10 persons you are taking care of. So what are the consequences of having a small family? I love small family. I don't know about you, about our parents, about you children, about you students growing up into adulthood. What do you think? Having a small family and having a large family, which will you prefer? That is your choice to make. Know that each of us has free will to choose. And so let's go. Let's dive into the subject, small family size. The consequences of small family size is at the positive end. Why do I say is at the positive end? It's at the positive end because a small family is a family that is well planned and well cared for. And most times, a small family comprises of few individuals that makes up the family. The father, the mother, or even the father, the wives, and the children. The size is small. And so, the consequences is that it has positive effect on the children because one, they will have quality education. Because there are not many, the parents here will be able to cater for these children. They will be able to send these children to school, and they will be able to monitor their progress in school. That is one advantage of having a small family, or one consequences of having a small family, and the influence it has on the individual child or those of the family. Then number 2, you will be able to understand the individual difference in your children. There are some children that needs attention. There are some children that have learning difficulties. There are some children that need moral discipline or that need moral counseling. If you have them few, you will know their personality differences and their personality traits and how you handle them as an individual child. And so, to the individual child, it will have a positive effect on the child. That is another consequences of having a smaller size of a family. Then another one is the quality of food you will give to these children. It's going to be very okay for them because you monitor their growth and you'll be able to see what is the quality of food I'm giving to these children. What and what do I need to do to make life easier for them, to make their growth go well, to make them develop well as children. And so you focus on the individual child, know what the child needs, monitor the growth, know what you're going to plan as meal for them. And so feeding habits, their feeding habits become quality. The quality of food you give to them will be good and okay. That is another consequences of a small family. Then another one is the overcrowdedness we see in large family doesn't exist in a small family. Because if you have a sizable family of 3 or 4 and you live in a 3-bedroom flat, the house will not be overcrowded, unlike the one that have 10, 18 that lives in the same 3-bedroom flat. And so the spread of diseases, ventilation, comfortability will be there. So for a small family on the individual, it is at the positive end, because the children will have the space they need, the privacy they need, the interaction they need. That's another thing. Then in the area of healthcare, if these children are few, or your members of your family are few, you will look into their health challenges. You will know when a child is sick. Even when the child have not noticed that something is going wrong, because they are few and you are always on the monitoring end, you will know when a child start developing a kind of problem, elder health-wise or otherwise, and you will be able to dictate how to help this child. So health-wise, you are at alert, you are at your tippy to know what is wrong with your family, and you will be able to cater for them. Then time. You will be able to spend quality time with few children than more children. If you have a sizable family, you will be able to have time for the individual child. And you will be able to interact with them, relate with them, know what they want, know what their problem is, know who their friends is, know how they are doing as children, and know how they are developing as children. Then they will see you as a friend. Then another one is the effects of growing up into unworthy adults, nuisance in the society, touts out there, will be minimal, because you will be able to discipline them. So discipline, the disciplinary degree in a small family, it's more than in a large family. They are few, you see them, you know when to discipline them, you know when to talk to them, you know when to counsel them, and you know how to be able to communicate with each of these children. The small family help the country to be able to have a sizable population. It won't lead to overpopulation of the country, and it won't lead to overcrowdedness of the country. So you are helping your country to plan the size of its citizenry, and to know what and what have to be put in place for the coming generation. So if you are a parent, what size of family do you like? Our purpose of teaching you social studies under the small family is to help you as children, as students, as adolescents, as those growing into adulthood, to help you to be cautious, to know that when you grow up, when you become fathers and mothers, you should have in mind that the purpose of you having social study as a subject and having this discussion, the consequences of a family size on the individual, the small family, this small family, is for you to help yourself as you grow into adulthood, because you are developing. You are the coming generation. How do you want your life to be? How do you want your family to be? What's the size of family you will want to have? Having that self-consciousness, that self-awareness, that's pre-information about the advantages and disadvantages of this family size, knowing the consequences of what happens when you have a large family size, and knowing the consequences of what happens when you have a small family size, will help you to choose wisely. So, the curriculum is built in such a way to help you have that self-consciousness to make better choice when you become adults. In our next class on social studies, we will take how family size affects our economy, our country, We are going to see how it goes. So if you would like to listen to that class, come along. Make sure you don't mix any of these classes. See how family size have effect on our economy. Until our next class, be blessed. And please, always remember to go over your classes so that it can become part and parcel of you. Our aim on Class Online School is to help you to learn and relearn and be better individual that will be their best version. Bye.